Rachel said, and we ended up calling, she ended up calling what's her name, Wow, to generate the report. That's what Rachel always had to do. And I know what you're talking
I
about,
think
Dave.
that's what we have to be wary of in general too, is when we look at the budget. You know, some things were allowed, okay, we get
Yeah.
it. Like Todd brought up, we probably should have cut technically, but even where we're at, we should see at least we're within cost of living. Which is usually about 3%.
Right.
Just to make sure that how far we overshot, and that'll give us. But I haven't actually seen that in any of the numbers yet either, so.
You can't see it and everything.
Well, this is different. This looks different than anything I've ever seen.
It's not even the one last year.
Budget history. Yeah, it's different. Yeah, it's way different than last year. It wasn't.
She was supposed to have called Rachel
This
and went to,
Rachel Oshkosh, right?
Yeah.
Well,
I went to Denver.
there's some highlights in this I noticed that maybe. Okay, this is a total county general. It's on page 29.
Why would it be on page 29?
I don't know.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Yeah. But it still looks different. We also need to know what that percentage is.
Okay, evidently,
July.
Looks like
they
a lot
were
more than
requesting extra help in the amount of 10,000,
17, 18.
patrolmen in the amount of 65,000. Retirement 180,000. Overtime 95,000. Allowance for K9 handler 5,500 for a total of 355,500 out of their sheriff's budget. And then 10,000 out of building maintenance in the jail. And 10,000 out of repair and maintenance in the 4919 account.
Yep, and we're gonna need more than that. Because our building maintenance is completely out of control. Our building maintenance right now, we're about $10,000 in the hole with the bills that we have just had to submit.
How can you be involved?
Yeah, we made it well known that.
It's for 2 months while we were trying to get these additional appropriations done.
Well, don't you get the additional appropriations before you spend the money?
I just turned the bills in today. They're upstairs actually right now, but I mean, I don't know how we continue to get maintenance when it takes 4 months to get stuff. You know, we have to have repairs done, guys, like. I've been holding bills. We gotta get them turned in at some point, so.
What kind of repairs are happening? Just out of curiosity, I mean.
Once
Things falling apart.
it's air conditioning, something back in booking. Yeah, it's some, I don't know, it's some VRM or something in booking that they had to have repaired for.
But overall, like what kind of things are happening these days? Like just for our edification,
Yeah.
because jail, like, you know, we thought the jail was gonna last a lot longer.
Yeah.
And the maintenance, the high maintenance started like a couple of years right after it was built. Like we didn't
Yeah.
expect things for 10 years. So
Yeah,
I know people are gonna be asking us though, like, well, what is it? So.
well, we had the conversation when you guys called me during the meeting and I said I would bring everything and then Todd said you guys could get it, so I didn't bring that stuff, I didn't bring the.
It's not the
like,
septic auger
invoices
anymore,
with-
is it?
Oh, yeah, I mean, we're paying a portion of that out of commissary every month, but that's,
That's not it.
And the county is too, so we need
the
to,
county pays part of that, oh, yeah, that goes.
we'll talk about that later, but that's
Okay.
something.
Yeah.
Cause there was we were asking for a new design for that.
It's the grinder.
Yep.
Right.
You don't need-
Weren't we looking for a new design though for that to?
Well, I told Tony just the other day to start getting some more estimates when we get it took care of.
Yeah, but somebody had a pretty decent priced idea of how to change that, right? At one time, I don't remember.
I heard that. We had we had it inspected and everything was gonna move forward with it. But then the council never did go, approve it. It was 110,000.
I was thinking something.
$50 a week right now on
Yeah.
just regular bills on
And that
that.
was a couple of years ago.
Because it's what, it's good. Plugging up, eat the pumps up, is that what it's doing?
Yeah, they have to come in and clean out the pit like once a week. This week,
We need to fix it up.
once to twice a week, and then when they come in and jet the lines, much more.
All right, 150 a week takes a long time to get to 150,000 though, so okay.
Well,
Could everybody be involved with this conversation? What are you guys talking about?
Oh, the auger that clears out the drain, like if they put a blanket in there or put too much stuff in there, it's got an auger that eats the stuff up. Well, it collects the solid material and it's just no matter what they do, try to get the inmates not to do it, they still do it.
That's not, no R, they
What,
eat
furniture?
any of that. So it's an open pit system, the way it was designed years ago. So there is a lift station on the inside of that way. So what happens is there's solids, essentially while water hits them, they become more soluble, sorry. And they pass through anything, let's say a wrapper from a ramen noodles or something like that.
Here's what we had, and I hate to keep telling everybody how old I was. I am. But years ago in the old jail, the inmates were always putting potato chip wrappers down, and it was really a mess. Well, I can't remember, who it was that come up with the idea of putting a screen, a trap ahead of that in order to trap it. We don't have any such luxury in this system, the trap.
I would assume, and I'm only making an assumption. Based off our population and the individuals that we're dealing with, rapidly, that trap would fill. We're talking about an individual now you've designed that's a county employee that's dealing with human waste. So I'm not saying that's a bad idea, I'm just saying, me personally, I don't know who you're gonna have to do that, because we can't have offenders messing with human waste. So the lift system essentially is designed to pull those wrappers up, and it goes into a bin system, which they come in and suck all it. Think of it as a very simplistic open septic. And then the DS&S, I believe, comes in and they jet that and they suck all that stuff that can't get into the city line or should be.
It's best separated, Bruce, and it puts it in its own thing, but there's no way of getting it out, like you said, into, so we need something that'll suck it out, put into the dumpster.
So are they bringing a vac truck or something? And
Yeah,
sucking it
I
out?
think it's something like they do.
Right, we're saying.
That's a
It's $150 every time they come out. They come out once or twice a week and do that.
Well, I'm surprised.
And then on occasion they,
I know.
yeah, and then on occasion they have to jet the lines out for stuff and then that's
So
usually.
it must be somebody like DS or whatever, some.
DS&S.
Yeah, I just think it'd have to be for that cheap of a
Yeah.
price.
Yeah.
I'd do away with the wrappers. They don't have wrappers.
So what do other jails do? I wonder.
A lot of them have like an auger system, very similar to what you're describing, that essentially, I'm gonna call it in the, like a mushroom shape. There's a term they use for it, but essentially the main line coming into that before it gets into the city septic, it's essentially grinding everything, pulverizing everything.
Yeah.
And you're kind of cutting it up.
Don't have.
Yeah, that one comes into there.
Yeah. Run into trouble.
See, all the Hamlet's lift stations are all grinders. Every pump is.
No, don't have.
How expensive is this system like that?
Yes.
You have any
You're
idea?
talking, the last time I even investigated that was probably 2017, 18. And if I remember correctly, it was like 150,000 back then. I don't know what it would be in today's.
We put one in Judson years ago, combinator, and it.
Nathan,
It's got.
Yeah, but only if I get some.
Everything's forced to do it, choose everything up, shreds it, spits it out back. Not that big deal, is they.
I would fill the hole with concrete or whatever, dirt and concrete,
Okay.
and a new system.
Designation.
Something soft.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have that, you just want a problem.
And something that you would feasible, it'll work,
I put one in.
and, I mentioned it to Tony, but if you get together, you know, come over, right?
Get with Tony tomorrow.
Yeah, just, I know they're saying 300, but that was what you said, 2017.
That now and then I get back.
So if you don't know, you don't.
So can I make a comment, please, to our jail commander?
Either
So-
way, yeah.
When your inmates buy stuff out of the commissary, correct?
Hmm.
So, and I don't wanna say I'm an old farm boy, cause I offend people.
I understand.
Why don't you just make a higher margin on the stuff you're selling in the commentary and let those inmates pay for our problem?
Well, there's two different
Is
businesses.
that you can't do that?
What, no, you absolutely can. The sheriff has every right to raise those prices for whatever he wants. If he wanted to sell a pack of ramen noodles for $50, he has every right to do it. But there's a business model we have to look at. Would we rather set on 100 ramen noodles and sell one a year? Or would we rather have something that residents of Stark County can afford? Or there's a price point where you're kind of cutting your own throat.
Or stick the taxpayers with $158 every time you have a back truck?
Either way,
The next thing is taking.
Now, I can only,
toilet paper away from 'em.
pardon?
The next thing is taking toilet paper away from 'em.
Put hoses in.
Well, that's
I worked in
extreme.
prison, that's what we saw.
That's extreme. And we've seen it back 35 years ago.
They gotta put that-
But
Why,
We gotta fix it.
are people from eating in their cells, like can't they be forced to eat when they're in the cafeteria?
We could, but with
Oh, there
three,
is, they don't have like
they eat their.
Okay, see, I didn't know how our jails.
It's all right.
Okay.
just have to figure out how to eat 100.
This one, that's just ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah.
So.
So we talked about this at the last, at the last meeting. About the retirement. About. Because right now, the budget that we have this year versus last year, this budget is 16% higher.
Oh, God. Not gonna get it.
Well.
So one thing I noticed was the chief deputy, aren't we talking about raising 3%? Did we agree to a higher pay for the chief deputy? Because that's almost 10%.
So this is where.
We agreed to 3% for everybody
When
across the
we-
board.
We came to the budget hearing. So when we came to the budget workshop, okay. We had done the pay matrix, which I emailed to all of you guys in advance some of you were at the department, we talked about. Like, never heard anything back, so we set our budget on that pay matrix, we came here. Before the meeting even started, Todd said, we're not doing that, but we didn't redo the budget before we got another budget was done for us, and
Well, then,
so.
Well, Todd, you and I did.
let's get further away. We did meet with them, but they were.
It's supposed to be on a scale though, right?
Yeah.
But I'm not sure, I think maybe, just to look at like why some are higher. Some are gonna be higher and some are gonna be lower because it's gonna start on a scale. I think it's more important to see what's it blend out at. Right?
Yeah.
Because that was the idea, was that it still stays in the same amount of increase. Fit in your budget, but that way the idea was a new guy doesn't come in making the same thing that a guy's been doing, working 5 years.
Right.
You know, I'm not so sure if there shouldn't be. If there shouldn't be a range for everybody. Like when somebody hires a first deputy, okay, if their pay is 30,000, let's just say, their range ought to be maybe 25 to 30. Well, we leave it up to the elected official. To do a job review and say, hey, they're doing really good.
We
So,
put that in
let's
the
give them a
salary
raise.
ordinance, almost all the positions have that.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, I thought we changed it 3 years back.
it has to come with a few caveats. It has to come with one, I think, since it's money. They have to really do a job there. They really have to do a job evaluation because nobody's doing job evaluations now, are they? No.
Jail is.
Okay, maybe the jail, you're the only ones. So then. My thought is you would appropriate that $30,000, but we would set their pay at 25,000. So if that person in 90 days. Does a good job and that in the department says, hey, they're doing a really good job. So then they would come to us to release the money after showing. That there was some qualification that person was doing a good job. I mean, I'm thinking that it might, not trying to cut somebody's budget pay, but if they can get a raise faster than they would anywhere else. It might give an incentive to do something better.
To your point, what bit us a little bit, and Bill and Don probably remember this to an extent, is that. What happened was we set the ranges and they did just that in some cases, like 90 days. They just put them up to the max. Like maybe like in 2 years.
Yeah, but
I think what the police department wants to do is stretch that over a longer period of time, not just 90 days, I believe.
We can control that.
Yeah.
We can just say you cannot spend any more money. Except for what we appropriate. If they want to spend more money, it's in the budget, but we just won't put it enough to come to us and ask for it. Just like the highway does for the $10,000 thing, the whole thing.
Yeah, I don't know that.
I don't think I do all that now.
That's what I was gonna say, and I don't know, Todd, you remember you, Dave, Bill, and myself, who met with the sheriff. And I thought they explained to you how.
And that was, and like I told them, that was Senate Bill 1.
Okay.
That was before we knew the state was gonna march. This thing.
There was no
Whatever the budget is.
communication from the time that I emailed it, and budgets needed to be turned in, so the budgets got.
I think if you look back, at the minutes in the meetings, we talked about a 3% raise for everybody. For a lot longer than the last meeting.
When we had our meeting, and it's not worth, I mean, I'm not here to argue, but when we had our meeting about the pay matrix. And I emailed it out to all you guys, we've all worked together on it, I emailed it out to all of you guys. There was no discussion before we got here that day that it wasn't gonna happen.
Because
So that's the way our budget is
First
presented
of all,
based on these amounts.
myself, I'm not gonna discuss, I'm not gonna have a serial meeting with everybody about that.
They just.
It's not gonna happen.
Explaining why the numbers are different than you're looking at. So, I mean, when you're talking about the percentage, that's why, because they're based on this.
Yeah.
So.
Well, right now, what I'm concerned about is that 16%.
I think it's from all the budgets, so isn't it? It's not really, it's not really caused
No.
by this, but. I mean,
But if you look at the 26 budget and look what the 25 adopted was, it's 16%.
right, that's why I wanted to find page 29, you're right, that's the thing, so. But looking,
Probably skews the
I
average.
think you got one there.
Yeah, but
looking at this new document presentation of us, what page are we on for the sheriff's department, just to make it easy for Cassie, do you know that 4 and 5?
yeah,
Plus, support a little different than what I'm used to, but. Okay. It's just, I guess it's just my eyes getting bad, like some of the, it's just, I can't read it. It's too light.
That are on there are, have.
Todd, will we go down line by line, vote on these?
Scott, on the adopted budget for 25 versus the published budget for 26, just for the sheriff's department, what percentage are we looking at since you have your calculator out?
it's probably not all totaled up, is it?
It is, it's,
Okay, I see it. So if that is. 6. 4, 7. 9, 8, 4. Okay, that's 18% higher. 18.
That's on the sheriff's budget.
okay, so. But let me ask this, because I think there might be a reason for that, that actually isn't jumping out of this page. Is that because maybe we budgeted for the high end of all those ranges and maybe that's not actually doesn't need to be advertised this
It
high?
actually that was budgeted exactly like per employee.
per
Like
current
where we
employee?
are at right now, correct? So when we talked about the matrix, we knew there would be more of an increase this year to get everybody to the level that they were at with their
Right.
experience, right?
Yeah.
So that's why you're the
So,
difference.
so let's just figure out if maybe this isn't like a calculation error here, just real quick, Todd, for a second, sorry.
So
So,
the only one that sticks out. Sticks out big time. Is, and I think maybe we talked about this, is. There must have been only one detective in the 25 budget, and now there's 2. Is that right?
Correct.
Because we talked about that.
Right,
So,
the deputies is moved to, and
so right there, Dave, that's
Okay,
almost, that's almost all of it.
Yeah.
okay,
Not quite, but close.
and, okay, so does that mean that one patrolman? Like there was a change then, like there was a reduction under patrolman,
correct,
so that's what I was wondering, maybe it just didn't calculate out, so, but that's been deducted too then.
correct.
Well, it actually shows an increase in the
Because
increase in patrolman.
they also, well, because this also includes, I've got all my notes, I emailed you guys.
No, that's okay, that's fine.
This
That's
also
the note that I
includes
think,
the
yeah.
one extra patrolman and one extra jail officer that you guys said that we can put on this year.
Okay, that's what it is, and it's the jail
Yeah.
officer too then, okay.
So there's an extra patrolman and an extra jail officer. One of our deputies got moved to a detective position.
So here it says there's an extra patrolman and an extra deputy.
And where are you looking at?
I'm looking at the sheriff's budget.
Are you looking at that workbook that she sent over?
Yeah, I'm looking at the patrolman. So did we add another patrolman or did we take out one?
Get a new one in 26, what we were told last year, we get a new jail deputy in 26 and a new patrolman in 26.
And then also a new detective as well.
The detective come from the existing deputy sheriff, we just moved a guy, that's not an additional person, we just moved a guy from patrol to detective.
Okay,
Yeah, so where it says the extra deputy added, that's my note for the deputy that you guys said this year that we could add it.
so
Yeah, how you gonna pay them?
Well, so here's the thing, we did say we were gonna increase the number of personnel.
yeah, I know.
And it sounds like it sounds like from what you're saying, we haven't picked up on this range yet anyways, because we haven't timed out, we don't have that many new people, so new people are gonna start less on the lower part of the
Correct.
range when that starts. But here's the thing, so the other thing is that we do need to talk about this since we're all together, because, you know, a lot of people are asking about two things, lit taxes and wheel tax. And at least maybe your people aren't, but the people I'm talking to, they wanna know what we're gonna do. Because the state wants to drive us to
And I can
put a
understand.
lit tax in and a wheel tax, because we're not gonna have enough road money. And we're not gonna have enough money for public safety, or things like public safety that just keep on growing. So the question will go back to, so we need to start talking about that. Do we wanna do a tax? Or we have an enormous amount of revenue coming in. You asked this actually, and then we closed. You asked about solar. Could we put some of this in solar? May not be a bad idea if we start talking about how we're gonna start spending some of the solar money if we don't wanna put taxes. in
But the
place.
reason we're gonna have less revenue is because they're lowering the amount of seated that we can,
Right,
right?
yeah.
I have no problem if the lit and the seated equals what we're already at,
Me either.
but I'm not gonna raise.
I'm not either. I won't vote for a tax raise, none.
And if we have Baker Tilly come, we can do that study for SB one. We have to look at that.
Baker Tilly has got the preliminary results for the solar. I have a meeting with them tomorrow at noon. The way I read it, it looks like we're getting shortchanged about 50%. Based off of the EDA that they offered us.
We're getting
The
what?
one that you said at our last council meeting was awful.
Yeah,
according to-
it's almost, they said we should get at least double. Of what they offered us. But I got a meeting tomorrow with them, so I gotta see exactly, it's hard to read, yeah,
SB one.
yeah.
You're gonna ask them about a quote
Yeah.
for doing SB one.
First we gotta get this done.
So, question, so we have the jail seated, which now it's a lid, but we have the jail seated. So isn't things like DS&S, shouldn't that be coming out of?
So yes, you have $110,000 coming out of
Which
that.
is what the seated is.
Right.
designed
So
for,
we,
right?
Already
so
sure.
we have, as far as like the BS&S bill,
Yeah,
long before I was around. There
right.
was some agreement that part of that was paid by county and part of it is paid out of commissary.
Okay.
So I literally do one invoice to county, one invoice out of commissary every,
I just don't know why we're
But
paying
that
that out
comes-
of commissary
that does
with
come out of-
seated
right.
No,
maintenance.
that would be a normal commissary item, because it's
It is.
commissary stuff that's
Commissary.
going in there, so that would totally. fall.
Funds the commissary.
No, commissary is.
But see what I'm saying,
4919
we
is
have,
therapeutic
we have
communities.
a lot of money sitting in.
We have
jail.
no maintenance
And
appropriation
we're not
needed at this
using it.
point. That's what I wanted to change.
Yeah, I'm going somewhere with that,
Absolutely.
actually, yeah, you're right. So Todd, real quick though, so that's it, there's lit. There's the money from solar, which you mentioned that last time. The other thing is, we have not gotten an answer unless Don got one today.
I have not.
We have not got an answer from Jim Pressel, but the state's really confident that we're gonna be able to use that
Yeah.
jail seated tax. So here's what I would say.
I've talked to him a couple of times.
And this is just one of us talking about this, but what I would
I
say,
couldn't find the bill.
we should move two of those positions. The things that are making us go in the red, we should move that over to jail seated for now. Anticipating that, because I'm telling you, when I talked about Hatchick and Pressel, especially Pressel, he was very confident that, you know, it would be a travesty if we couldn't, because everybody else that's doing those, we were one of the first ones to do that type of a tax. And so like, you know, we were held to those standards, and I believe somebody, you know, like caught that, you know, so. And then the state caught it, so, but they even missed it like for the first few years, and you've talked to Pressel, I know too, and I think other people have, you have for sure. Yeah, so I think that would be the best thing to do.
How much money do we have in jail seated?
Oh, it's enormous amount.
48 or something.
Yeah, an enormous amount.
Yeah.
Yeah, Michael, do you know right offhand?
No, I gave you guys all of the
Yeah,
potential.
that's-
seated
In
last
that area
meeting.
around $1 million,
Yeah.
because I had asked for
Yeah.
that.
It might be like 4.5 now, or.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot.
It's up there.
So what we do tonight then, it should be pending on whether we can use those seated funds, is that correct?
Well, I'd say,
I mean, I don't know how else you're gonna pay for it.
we've got 4 months for somebody to tell us we can't.
Right.
So
And
the
Todd,
majority,
The big question is this, and I get it, I understand, it all come down to money, and whatnot. But what we're doing, we are in a crisis mode right now. We just had a fatality on Sunday with 2 officers working that whole thing. They didn't have no road coverage for the rest of the county. You cannot put a price on public safety.
No,
Understand?
don't.
I understand. I just
Yeah, so many things.
so you speak, sir.
I've heard that, I've heard that for so many years.
To the board as a whole. I appreciate everybody. I appreciate you allowing us to be here. There's several officers in this room. I thank them for being here. and I get it, and it happens, but we running short. We just had calls yesterday. We had 2 officers aside, nobody can cover the work. I understand where you come from, being a fiduciary.
No, I don't think you do.
I do.
No, I don't think you do. I've heard,
I'm just trying to tell our story for our department that we need help. We running 2 guys for a county this size.
when I get an opportunity, I'd like the floor.
Go ahead, Bruce. We have the-
I've heard that argument for 40 years. And then just let me talk.
You don't let me finish what I was saying, but I'm gonna be respectful and let you talk, so go ahead.
Very good, thank you. I'm glad you're more respectful than I am. I'm glad you pointed that out. Now, listen, I've heard the public health thing for 40 years, and you don't think that all of us up here are worried about that? But here's something else we have to worry about, is taxing our people to death. So if we can afford to do it through seated, jail seated, I have no problem with that. But unless I'm sure that we can fund it that way, I'm not gonna be in favor of it.
So what I had
say
proposed
that we
when
could.
I emailed this all out and everything to begin with was a lot of our expenses out of our general fund. Out of the therapeutic communities budget, we're building maintenance, which is what seeded was set up for.
Yes.
So we can move
That's what makes no
Money
sense. to me.
from,
why we're not
we
paying
can
them.
move that money, if we can put that $50,000 or whatever, if you guys will put money into, jail seated. An appropriation there, then the expenses aren't as bad and can be moved for things like. Salaries and stuff out of general funding or out of therapeutic communities where the jail could be funded. We need to move, if we just use, that's just one big huge chunk of it right there. The maintenance is incredible. I wouldn't have believed it if I didn't see it every day when the bills came across my desk.
So,
But that's an easy, legit move.
And we
So-
did, sorry,
but
we did take a 911 dispatch too and bring it out jail seated, so there's another 40-some thousand.
There's
Okay.
currently still one dispatcher in jail seated
so,
and there's some jailers in jail. seated.
so what I'm just trying to figure out, and you guys help me do this. So right now, there's basically $150,000 for extra officers in this. So how many road deputies are there now? Patrolmen.
We have 10 guys actually that work patrol and 3 detectives. We have a lot of 15 people, that's including the sheriff,
Okay,
3 detectives and 10 officers aside.
so the way this is, it looks like to me, I don't have the salary ordinance, but. There's not enough funding for 3 deputies, it says 2 detectives. Cause you only have 1.
There's a chief detective. Chief detective is in there as a separate line.
Okay, that, okay, that,
the next page.
yeah, that's separate, okay.
Yeah.
So that's the 2. So. The detectives went from 58,000 to 120, so that would be the other detective,
Correct.
okay? And then. The patrolmen went from 396 to 478, which is a net gain of 82,000.
So again, the
So that-
numbers that you're looking at aren't based on a flat 3%. The numbers that you're looking at are based on. A first-year officer and our 10-year officer making exact same amount of money. The numbers that you're looking at are based on this pay matrix that I sent you guys. That's what I was trying to point out. That's why you're looking at different amounts.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, based on that pay, if this is based on the pay metrics now, there's like a 20% increase just in that one line.
Okay, so if you're looking at your deputies, you've got 5 deputies at 0 to 4 years.
Okay,
You've got 1 at 5 to 9 years. You've got 2 at 10 years and up. That's just your deputy line. And the numbers aren't gonna add up to you because the pay matrix is on this page that, unless you guys brought it with you, is not, you're just looking at a blanket number.
that's all I'm looking at, okay, back, why the number.
Yeah, that's-
But it figures into the blanket number is what, that's why I was asking you
What's
earlier.
that?
It calculates into the blanket numbers.
That's for both of the departments.
Yeah, so that in turn makes it
Makes it appear worse, and then you have.
Makes it
additional
appear a lot
headcount.
worse than what it is. Got it laid out here.
So how much is their budget up? 20%?
So this is based on 3%.
We can,
It's not the,
It's right here, 2026, 3% cost of living.
3% plus what? Do you see it on there? It's 3% plus if a 5 to 9 officer gets an additional 2% on there. So a 0 to 4 year officer gets 3%.
All it says is 3% cost of living across the board. That's what it says.
It's over there.
Oh, see, I'm looking down here at this.
If you look at the column on the right, shows, so the column on the far right
Yeah,
shows you what, like on the bottom. Shows you what the difference is between if they just got, their pay this year, right? Whoops, another copy, sorry.
so they're getting 5%, they're getting 7%. Well, everybody else in the county is gonna get 3.
So-
Done.
0 to 4 years, just the 3% raise. And the reason I put it that way is because next year, and this is what you and I talked about at the budget workshop. Next year, if you guys say that's it, everybody's only getting 1% raise, then they'll get 1% plus. For the 5 to 9 years experience of 2% and the 10 years of experience and up of 4%.
No, if
So-
we say that, if we say they're gonna get 1%. That's all there's gonna be. There's not gonna be some projection. Wow,
Scale.
a sliding scale. We can't really do that.
This is the pay matrix that we sat at our.
Exactly, okay, so, let me ask about this, because I remember what Todd's asking, is that. Like, once people are established though in that category, like,
Yeah.
they get raised the first time. Asking is, are they gonna get a 4% again in the next time? It's if it's 1%, if it's 3%,
Yeah.
whatever it is,
It's only.
they only get that.
Next page.
Yes,
So you're saying it's a one-time deal?
yeah, so if right now I'm in my 4th year, this is where I'm gonna be. When you move to your 5th, you will bump up to that next level, but yeah, it's not gonna be every year.
But then when we bump up, it's not 5%, 4% plus the 3%, it's the 4%.
Or the 3%? It doesn't show that here.
So much room on these.
Well, I don't. That's what I was trying to explain, right? No, we're not gonna do that.
Pay like the others.
That's my question. It's longevity.
Like we said.
$8 is that.
Longevity is different. Longevity is different.
Because, correct me if I'm wrong, April, but if I come here and I've already got 5 years experience, I'm gonna get paid the 5 years, it's not 5 years here.
Correct.
It's 5 years of experience doing this job.
This
Now,
is,
just like in the private sector, that's how this is set up.
Yeah.
So it's
Well, I-
based on
well,
how
I
much
see you
experience
are-
they have, and then, Todd, if I'm in, let's say I'm 5 years today, I'm only gonna get
Yeah, no,
5 to 9.
I understand that, but I'm not saying that, I'm looking what I'm reading, that's all I'm looking at. That's all I'm doing, is looking at what I'm reading.
this is about retention. This is about getting transferred, lateral transfers. You're looking at guys in this room right now with years and years and years of experience that are making the same as if I turned into an officer tomorrow. And that's what we're trying.
And that's not right.
And that would be terrible.
At least one of them had hair before this all.
So that's what this, yeah, the biggest financial impact would be this year to get it all set. It's about $22,000 difference, but that's not
We're
every.
gonna need to look at the next budget workshop too, though, because. We're just discussing over here. One of the things though is that, okay, so if you bump up a category, what happens if you bump up in a category and qualify for a longevity bump at the same time? Do you get both?
I guess, I
I don't know that we talked about that. I didn't think about that, right? I mean, I don't know.
He is great, and-
Gonna pay longevity, you really should.
Jeff,
I don't know, I'm just asking.
Yeah.
yeah.
So it should be.
You put the time in here, you're getting the longevity. I have the experience, you're getting the pay bump.
If everybody else gets longevity, it kind of.
Yeah, how-
I don't really disagree with that either, but it is a big bump.
Is longevity figured in here?
Longevity is not figured in there.
I don't know if we can afford it this year. I don't agree to your matrix.
Longevity, I mean, no, yeah, they do get longevity as well. Again, that's, and.
They do get longevity.
That is not included in there. That's their base pay, okay, so well, listen, longevity is figured into our budget
Yeah,
already.
yeah.
Yes, it's just not figured into that amount that you're looking.
So it is figured in, just.
Good question though. If you take those two positions that are new and you add that in, what's their percentage increase? Like if you don't consider.
If you take that out.
If you take those out of there, it's probably not very much.
They're budgeted in there
Yeah.
at 0 years of experience.
Right, but I just, Bruce asked a good question though, like if you factor that out of the whole
Yeah.
equation, what's your budget increase?
So if you take that out of there.
The biggest part of our budget increase is over $200,000 on retirement.
Well,
We're not even talking about that.
Yeah, that's.
That's, I mean, when you're budget, you're looking at our budget as a whole, you are talking
Yeah,
about it.
but
You
the
know.
retirement's not in this part of the budget.
It's in our general fund.
Yeah, but it's not in this one we're looking at right now for all
Okay.
this.
We just,
So-
count it as a budget as a whole, like.
So if you take all that out. I didn't do the exact math,
Yeah.
but with that being taken out, it's probably within the 3 or 4 or 5% range.
The only other question I have is, did we discuss jumping the chief deputy up by 10%?
That's the same thing with the matrix and experience, okay?
So the experience in this doesn't. It's not just for this county, it's experience,
Experience.
yeah, everywhere.
Correct.
Okay, that's actually the way my job even is.
Yep.
I mean, they don't care where you came from.
All right, I just want
And that
to,
reflects that.
I mean,
This number reflects that.
Yeah,
so this decision's up to the council, but I've kind of made this point a couple times now. I think our pay in this county is low, just as far as not necessarily county to county, but any jobs that are available. In the last few years, the cost of living's gone up 40%. And I would venture to guess that our officers' pay hasn't gone up 40% in the last few years.
mine hasn't either.
No, I get that, but in the private sector, yeah. But I would rather have experienced officers that know Stark County than have our guys saying, hey, I can make 10,000 more and drive 10 minutes down the road.
Is that our pay scale is that much lower? That's what I see. We were.
I gotta refer to the county here.
But they also have the opportunity to work for state, for city. I mean, they have a lot of
And
opportunity.
that's a wonderful thing, having an opportunity.
ICE is gonna hire.
Right now, pretty good, so. If I lose a little bit, I could go to a surrounding county and get paid for specialty training stuff that we have. Our years of experience, and I could probably make $6,000-$7,000.
All right, so I got a message back from Jim Pressel. Can't believe things change so quickly. He said he talked to the DLGF and we're probably gonna have to stick to spending on jail items. That's unbelievable. I don't know how we fight it more after that. So I believe Cassandra asked this before. Then what we might want to do is look at our matrix and just look at paying the jail off earlier, making a lit tax and just, paying for it in other means. Then, I mean, if we can't use the money, why collect that enormous of an amount
Crazy.
if we can't use it? I mean, or
GLC, I can't use it.
We could have,
I asked them,
what's frustrating,
I mean, we could put the maintenance over there and stuff like.
yeah, which
But
is a.
we do have some of that in there though. It's just gotten greater. There's one fund there. It's a jail, not maintenance, but jail,
No, we have no repair, we have service contracts out of there, but
Yeah,
repair
same.
and so like,
And
I
that's
mean,
where it should
but,
come from.
yeah, but repair and maintenance has been out of the general budget and out of there.
See that,
what we need to do is maximize what we take out of seed it, but then recalculate it, just see about paying it off and get.
either
and putting a
see
lit
about,
tax in.
see about paying it off or drop the seated tax and raise the lit tax.
Well, no, that's what I mean, but we still have to have enough to pay it off.
Keep the same tax rate, but just move it over to where we can use it, because that's crazy. I mean, what do we owe on the jail? I wonder.
I knew that, I looked it up.
Yeah, it's, we're halfway through it.
How much? 10,000 or 10 million, 20 million?
No, I think it's like, we only owe like 5 or 6.
Yeah, it's not that, because I was surprised when I saw the balance in the lit tax account that we weren't
So,
paying.
The problem is we don't want to rebond. I don't know. The thing is, we need to talk to bond counsel because I don't know if this is a good time. There's a lot of fluctuation. But when the interest rate's high, sometimes that does help with bond counsel, sometimes it doesn't because it depends how they fund it. But this is probably worth looking into. Again, this is probably gonna be another Baker Tilly thing. But like you said, lower the rate on a payment on the jail. Create a lip tax, a public safety, we could decide. But because here's the thing, it can be just a jail. Doesn't have to be public safety, it can be
Right.
just a jail too, and then we could have a separate jail one, but then take a lot of things, but you can pay for anything that has.
or we
to do
can
with
just
jail.
dump it in the lit and then we can pay for it.
No, that's what I'm talking about, a lit, but there's 4 different kinds of lit that you
Right.
can do, there's even one that you can use to help pay for a court. But pick the right lit. And then adjust things and move it around, lower this tax rate. Now, the other thing is though, is that I believe we still have to resell that though. You know, cause it's bonded, you know what I mean? So, we still have a good bond rating, so I'm not worried about any of that.
No,
you know,
our
so-
bond rates. there's
Yeah,
no
we're
problem.
grade A, we're
Yeah,
grade
yeah,
A,
there's
so
no
we're
problem
okay
there.
there, but that would be the thing to do. The thing is. The bond rates could be better, actually, you know, cause back then the interest rates were low. But you never know, sometimes bond rates don't always follow the interest rate, and so we probably need to get some counsel on that to tell us what it would be, but. I think that's what we need to look into then. I mean, honestly. What the LGF is gonna do, if we did put that in the jail seat anyways, they're just gonna mark it on our audit, honestly, and they're probably listening to this, but technically, what are they gonna do to us?
Yeah.
You know, they're just gonna
Right.
flag us again in an audit.
I just paid for it out of seat it is. And worry about it later.
Can they ever make you pay that seated back
If
out
they
of
do-
county general?
If they do, that's fine, then we'll just change the seated tax, lower the seated tax, raise the lit tax. So it's the same tax rate, it goes to a different place. This is what's so ridiculous about this. There's one pot of money, but you can only spend this pot for that, but if you take that pot and put it all in that pot, you can spend it for anything you want.
I mean, how do they even
You
find it?
can rewrite the jail seated, it's been out there, because when I was looking into the capital improvement plan and the jail seated, both of them, they can be rewritten every
But
2
that-
years.
But that whole jail seated thing is a state, it's part of that goofy ass state law for every county. Who has a different set of rules. For everything.
Yeah.
With that jail seated money, it's
Well, we
crazy.
should probably at least make sure we're paying what we should be out of there, and that would give you more money in the general.
So what
Because
do you?
again, if we're spending $150 every week, sometimes $300 a week, times 52 weeks a year, that should all be.
Seems to me that all that.
That's $75,000.
We should fix that.
That's.
We gotta spend that. If we spent that in years, we got.
And I actually. figured out that. Right, she should be better. And then we pay our portion.
I remember we had a lot of money.
Yeah.
Well, that was.
So there's a lot of stuff we did inside.
They just put blankets in the old jail all the time. We have maybe there's a kind of the old.
There was a lot of stuff you guys are paying.
So-
And I don't think.
Cage thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I guess what we, here's what we could do, and I don't know, you guys, I'm just throwing this out there, is. We let this roll the way it is. And then. If we have to cut it, we
As
will,
advertised, or as published.
and then we'll just take money out of seated.
Todd, could I say something?
Yeah.
You guys told me at the budget workshop to lower all salaries to just a 3% increase, so I changed a lot of that.
And that's what this reflects.
Our stuff. I asked you about that earlier, you said you did not change our.
No,
stuff.
I'm sorry, the column that I was talking about was this one's not on this column. It's not in here because we didn't need it anymore, but, yeah, I lowered everything to 3%, that's why that.
Do we say anything to Jim Bonner?
Numbers-
Cause he told me that earlier, he was at a
Some
concert.
of this, but I was telling you earlier.
Jim, if you can hear us, we don't have anything for you.
Reflect The budget. that
Forgot
I
he was
turned
rocking
in,
today.
Which had the pay matrix in it.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure that if they did approve that pay matrix that.
Well,
enough
hopefully
money-
they'll go on our budget.
Yeah,
worksheet.
I can hear you.
It's correct.
Thank
If
you.
not, I don't know what you changed.
Well, you
That's
know
why I'm
what?
trying to discuss.
There's a lot of flux going on in the whole state this year.
Yeah.
Todd doesn't have a bad idea. Why don't we just fly this budget and then we'll have a hearing together and we'll do a powwow and we'll cut it if we have to.
So I don't know what budget number she put in the workbook that she sent to you.
The
She,
same one I
she
sent
just
you.
said, right, but I asked you earlier, and you said you didn't change any of that, so I can go back through
I'm
that.
sorry,
Well, so then you're saying you're not giving them the information that they just all sat here and went.
Well, so is it more than 18% then or
You
less? Like,
already gave them that.
what will that do to Todd's calculation and just come to?
Honestly, I'm not sure because, so when I looked at her workbook that she emailed to everybody.
What you're talking about this? You
Yeah,
have this
that's
right
like-
now?
This
Is this not
was
correct?
28 something page, whatever.
60.
Yeah, so she told me that she hadn't changed any of our numbers,
Okay.
but now she's telling me she has changed our numbers.
That's okay. When you look at the numbers right now, though, what's your opinion? I mean, are they correct or?
I mean, some of them are close. So the numbers for, I did not go through the numbers on the salaries on her because she said.
But if you recall, I did send you an email back and ask you if something was.
I was in
wrong,
court
please let me
this
know.
morning, I apologize. Yeah, I was in court this morning.
So when you look at just the salaries, when you look at those,
I got the.
because one thing I think we should ask Michaeline to do before we advertise the final budget. Is move the stuff that we can move into jail seated, like the fees for the maintenance, put all the maintenance in there. Any single thing that has to do with that building. Seated,
How much of a difference would that?
that'll help,
A lot.
They make a lot of it.
that'll help right there.
A lot of pressure.
So you basically need her to resubmit her budgets with all that stuff moving.
I think that's what we want to do, is at least adjust those things. And then go back to what was originally discussed and then fly it. I think Todd's got a good idea there.
So actually, if you look at that workbook, Dave,
Jim.
where it says that 2026 requested budget.
Yeah, this is Jim Presswell.
Yeah, no, that's okay. If you look at that workbook, like page 4. The 2026 requested budget, the first column of numbers, that is what we submitted. That includes all those P matrix numbers. So the published budget is not there.
Which page are you looking at?
So page 4,
I got two different sheets here, they got like two different stuff on it. Alright.
so page 4, the first column of amount says 2026 requested budget.
Yeah.
That's accurate and reflects everything that we've been discussing.
Okay, well, then that's what I was, that's what I was getting my sections off of.
The 2026 published budget is changed numbers that she published to Gateway that is not accurate.
The published are both the same.
For not all of them, if you look at the patrol corporal. We requested 118, 912, and 121 got published. Give us more, that's not good. We requested here for the detectives 121, 834 and 120, 669 got published. There were 1,000 short errors. I mean, ultimately, the truth is, I know from looking at these that this is where I can move, these are in categories where I can move money from there to there without a problem.
Yeah,
So we would
because-
cover it,
Because the total amount is the same.
we'd cover it.
The total amount's the same.
Yeah, so.
The published and the requested is the same dollar amount, regardless of what it is in the columns. Exactly the same.
Okay, well, I'm seeing something different then.
No, I'm looking at the bottom of it. The total is 479, 840. That's the requested, and the published is 479, 840.
Right, that's just for the patrolman line
Right.
though.
And that's where you're saying there's
I'm
the
saying
discrepancy, so,
the second line under
no,
sheriff,
I see that.
okay, 118, 912. And then published was 121, 328,
We're gonna move them in.
showing a difference of 1,108.
Yeah.
You see that?
And then if you look at like, the patrol corporal, let's see, it was published
And-
$2,000 more.
Correct.
So when you add all those counts up, they're the same.
It's fine, as long as you're good with it,
Yeah.
fine.
And they're all in the same fund, so they can be transferred. Yeah,
So Jim said that when he talked to the DLGFs, they basically said almost anything that's touching the jail, like, but.
Okay.
You can't buy a new ambulance, obviously, but you know, like he said, patrolman probably not, but. It's expensive. The jailer should be on there, he said.
There we go.
So we haven't done that, right?
All your jail.
So she should move the jailers, the maintenance, everything else for now, because I told Jim that what we talked about was
This is.
lowering the rate.
You hearing that,
And
April?
a couple of you guys have brought that.
Yeah.
up. He realized it with another.
All your jailers, the jailers, come out of jail.
Yeah.
So, worst case scenario,
It should be coming, yes.
what if they don't approve it?
That'll be huge right there.
The state, well, they won't judge us on that. They have to prove the number, but they don't tell us where we can take it from. That's where they look at us within the audit. But we'll see.
It'll come back to bite, you're telling me that it'll never come back to bite us,
Patrolman might.
never, yeah, see.
No, how many jailers?
yeah.
So,
So
then
we're
I'll use what we're doing here.
So coming out of county general now.
And therapeutic community.
They're coming out of therapeutic communities and a couple out of jail seat.
But the other one's coming out of county general.
Yeah.
No jailers are coming out of county general.
And how many jailers do we have?
So maybe we can move some of that around. See, he said basically, because you know, the thing was, is that when we established the rate. We told the taxpayers that we were going to spend the money on a jail. But the thing is, though, is a lot of those things. Are actually part of the jail, you know what I mean, like I explained, we have a dispatcher there, but the dispatcher watches the monitor. and is part of the, enforcing that. And in fact, I would argue that every dispatcher participates in that because they do help with the security of the jail.
Every dispatcher there controls the outside doors and controls the movement of the facility.
There you go.
Yeah.
So I mean, to that example, like. Oh, with the dispatchers, there's 7 of them, right?
Okay,
How
and
come they dispatchers?
Oh, we have 10.
But there's 7 that, well, one of them is that I'm saying that are just out of county general.
Oh, I don't know where, yeah.
County, they're out of, no, they were out of.
I'm sorry, 911, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is county general.
No, dispatch
No,
get paid out of the
dispatch-
911.
But the 911, not enough to pay for it.
Yeah.
Which will be moving,
Oh, that's-
the other budget changes.
See.
We have a couple that come, we have one dispatch position available in, jail seated. And then we have, everybody else is coming out of the 1222 dispatch budget,
Yes.
so,
So,
Because the 911 won't pay for.
no.
No. So the 1222 budget cannot be budgeted for because it's not guaranteed by the state.
Yeah.
You cannot account for that money because you don't know what you're
Right.
going to get.
yeah,
So we already know for next year that we're gonna be in a position, and Becca and I went through like, right now, we've kind of had people moved around, so everybody's,
So-
been paid out of one, but now.
So how many dispatchers are paid out of that 911 money?
9
is
currently.
it 9?
And I think we had
We're
to.
bring it.
No, I know, because we had to do an additional transfer, I thought, right?
Yeah, so we did, so 3 of them are paid out of ARPA this year. One of them is being paid now out of jail seated, and the rest will be paid out of the 122 budget. We actually just moved another girl to the remainder of the jail seated budget to
Well,
try to
those-
finish
those-
off years.
Those 3 or 4, they're paid either through the ARPA this year or the county general, they ought to be in jail seated.
and that would take care of the
Yeah,
short.
and we're not putting them all in there, so I don't see why the DLGF could argue. I mean,
I think so,
And
either.
even all the jailers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or at least we argue it with them,
I
you
mean,
know?
You want me to move all the maintenance to jail seated,
Yes.
and you want me to move what the dispatch, I mean,
2 dispatchers. That way there's 3 there total.
but they're paying for 3 out of ARPA now.
3 out of ARPA this year, it's gone 2026, we won't. We know we're in trouble for 2026 with dispatchers, I mean, that's. It's just been frustrating.
Well, when you say 2026, you mean the budget we're gonna create in 26.
Right now, we've already got them moved.
You already moved.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why.
How many jailers do you have?
That 911 jail.
945.
And those could all be paid out of jail seated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say was.
Should be able
It's
to.
like- that's the number.
This one, which is 90.
Yeah, I feel like I was moved.
Yeah.
So we
Okay.
just back.
I mean,
Seated.
So,
Yeah, 3 dispatchers
So-
in the jailers.
We need to move some dispatchers to jail seated. 3.
3.
Yep.
If I, honestly, I think, and Becca, I'm throwing this at you, and I know you're really smart, but I think if we could move 4 dispatchers to jail seated, I think that we would be safe. In the 1222.
4 then.
Why can't we move the
there's
jail?
one in there. You're talking about moving 5 to jail or
No, if we move
They're
another
getting
3.
paid out of therapeutic.
We may not need to, I could crunch those numbers in the morning.
No, I was talking about
But-
moving 3. I was
Yeah.
thinking the same
If you're
thing,
moving
4
3,
total in there. That way it's
yeah,
offset. There's
yeah.
still 6 in the 911.
Right,
Because I'll tell you, they're not increasing 911 either,
No.
and they're not going to. They've told us that,
Because like.
The argument was the health department always asks for more money. They don't allocate more money to health department, but now they have other funds.
Always do. Jail they want.
I mean, statewide,
Well,
you know.
So that, all the controversy, can be taken care of by just coming out of jail.
I think we can stabilize it to 26 budget, but then we've got to see what we're gonna do with that.
With that being said. Could the office manager and the assistant matron, because it's in the jail budget. Could that be paid out of seated too? That's something to think
So
about.
why
I think
not?
it's a reach.
And doesn't that go along?
The
with-
matrons are.
Hey, they're-
That's not like a.
My opinion, again, it's just my opinion. The council commissioners would have to articulate. What is she providing that jail with? I can do that with a lot of things, I'm not saying.
Well, no, you're smart. I can tell by your smile. She must not help with the jail. If that's okay, then we should do that.
Inside of the facility is what I'm
Okay, so
concerned.
paperwork for the job.
I'd be too nervous.
I do, no, I mean, it's in besides bills and like, no, I really,
I think we put that there.
yeah.
But if we
I
move,
think you'd be,
if we move dispatchers and take out the maintenance and take it out of jail, see that? And dispatch.
Next year.
Yes.
Why
And
can't we start?
the jail
correcting some of
seat
that
showed
right
up
now?
on
And if
our
it's a
audit.
matter of having
And I asked
excess money
questions.
in jail.
I agree with you. I think we are doing that. I think we.
I would rather see us.
Okay,
over.
because when we built, okay,
And
I
make
asked them,
thoughts of
because
maybe
one of the things
helping
that we
line up
listed,
for
and I
next
thought
year.
it
Is
was
that
weird,
acceptable?
is like
That's why I said, let's let it fly.
oil
Yeah.
and lube for the vehicles. And you know what the state board of accounts told me? Well, yeah, they could probably get away with that. And when you read through it, it is anything to do with the facilities. So existing buildings, acquisition of land, reasonably, any reasonable, and this is what she told me, any reasonably related costs. That is the clause that gives you guys the ability to move to do exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, because I think the oil loops.
It is literally line one in the IC.
You said you're gonna dispatch, how are you gonna move the jail to?
Well, I think,
Oh, did she already do?
well, I think, so, where are the jailers paid out of now?
some out of therapeutic communities and some out of seated.
So, answer me this, what would be you guys' advantage if we took those jailers and took them out of the therapeutic community and moved that to jail seated?
Well, that's more of a question for you because you are more aware of the therapeutic communities. If we move that, can you use those funds for it?
Something.
Wait,
Like right now, you're talking about funds for jail vehicles.
TC
know
has
that
some
could
specific
have-
things too.
See,
Correct.
could that?
essentially, let's say you move one person for easy math, and let's say whoever this person is, you're moving to jail seated. Out of therapeutic community, essentially you're freeing up, let's just, you say $100,000 for easy math. Essentially, you could use that for whatever the shortcomings of or in the other areas that you guys are looking at,
So
if that makes sense the way I explained.
Yeah, it does.
That's what
Yeah.
you're saying.
So,
Yeah, that's what I.
Well, they have, I'm sure they have some stipulation of what can they spend for that. account.
Oh, there's.
yeah,
There's
that's
probably rules.
that's the question, what exactly can the therapeutic be spent for?
Yeah.
You know, is there a list or is there?
I know salaries can be one of them, and currently salaries are one of them. But in detail, well, say 13 things, I wouldn't know all 13 things.
So maybe that may not be to our advantage to do that, I think. So we're gonna move 3 dispatchers. To seat it, jail seat it, plus take out any
Whatever
maintenance,
Whatever maintenance.
whatever maintenance, and put it in jail seated.
Okay.
And that way it'll free up the county budget.
And does that go anywhere to help correcting the problem they're gonna have next year?
Yeah,
So
What we're talking about
that's
next
my
year.
thought, if you're
Yeah.
gonna correct things, now's the time to do it.
Well, we're talking about for next year's budget, correct? I mean,
We've got another layer of problem coming with county general though too, each year.
right.
Incrementally, as best we want, so,
So.
but this will get us started.
If
Get the program started you guys wanna do for your pay. Get maintenance covered, so we're not in the red.
Yeah.
And then give us a little bit of breathing room to try to figure out how we adjust this. Again, this is my opinion, but I think we're gonna probably have to rebond the jail. Restructure the payment, either pay it off early or make the payments less. Create a real jail tax, a jail lit tax. Or a public safety tax and move a couple officers over to there and jail expenses over there, something. But something to fund the sheriff's department. Now, here's the other thing I'm gonna tell you.
How it should be.
I don't know if you've been hearing from a lot of the trustees. I've heard from 4 of them. They also want to know, they want us, because the other thing that you can do, just to be completely transparent, is that in that public safety tax, you can include townships also. So they want to buy more stuff through the county.
Well, I say let them do like Hamlet and Davis Township did in a former fire district. And then they're in charge of taxing their people and not us.
I'm not saying
That's
that
what I
basically at
say.
this point either. I'm just making you aware
I
that
mean-
that'll come up, because the one thing about it is, when we
That's
start to
exactly
consider those.
that's exactly what I'll tell them. If they look at Hamlet, Davis Township, that fire territory, which I'm on the board for that, that is a perfect model. It works perfectly.
Well,
There's no complaints from
There
anybody.
was a question Todd and I had about the therapeutic communities money. Is that different? Is that a different fund completely from commissary money?
That is actually being funded by the Department of Corrections. That's for our therapeutic community program that we have, that the DOC reimburses us at a per diem starting, used to be $37.50 and now it's gonna be 42, I think it's $42.50.
They're not gonna cut that next year?
No, they're actually. Talk's cheap, but they're talking about increasing.
Oh,
So once they get that prison done, might hurt you though.
I'm sorry.
Once they get the prison done, Westville might hurt.
From
I
the
hope
meetings
not.
I've had, that they're considering changing our facility. Me and the sheriff have had discussions about it.
Okay.
I don't want to project for the
That's
Department of
fine,
Corrections, but they're talking about changing the model of what they're currently doing to something to alleviate
Okay,
a different problem that they have.
good.
federal prisoners.
okay, so where we're at, we're gonna move, excuse me, 3 dispatchers to jail seated. And take out any maintenance. That's in the county jail or stuck in the jail budget anywhere. And take it out of jail seated. So we can free up. The county general money.
Or stabilize their,
Yeah, stabilize.
their money
Gonna-
from the county general.
That's gonna end up making your budget maybe less than what.
So. So I'm gonna just recap, cause I wanna make sure I got this right with witnesses, right? Okay, you guys have witnesses. Alright, so. For 2026 budget, the one we're talking about tonight, we're moving all the maintenance to jail seated, we're taking it out of county general therapeutic communities. I'm gonna move 3 dispatchers there. Did you still want me to move another jailer or 2 there, or all the jailers there?
I don't know what all, you said 2, right?
Maybe 2.
2 jailers? Okay.
Let's ease into it.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
If you want, I can have
That's fine.
no problem with
Okay.
What's, how's Tony get paid?
Yeah, they got it.
Jail budget.
Okay.
Yeah.
Up for
Yeah,
like.
two
Out of jail
jailers.
seat.
Jailers.
Right, that's what I'm
He's
saying.
actually,
We're talking about 3.
Okay,
yeah.
I was thinking that helped too.
Alright,
So,
that-
and
that's
then,
a
and we'll
plus.
stick with the matrix pay numbers that we already gave you guys to begin with, correct?
Yeah.
And we'll just go from there.
Cause it doesn't change anything in the published and the requested budget, they're the same.
Yeah, they're the same. She's just gonna make sure the published budget is correct.
Yeah,
Right.
Saying we can't.
Resubmit your
This-
budget
this-
with all those
This is
changes.
I will,
pretty
yeah.
ironclad.
Okay,
And I have one other suggestion. I think what we should do also is get some quotes to make that system for that sewer work right. for
I
us.
just asked Nate.
Take the low bidder from it and then do an additional, one-time additional appropriation, not a line item, so they've got 150,000 or whatever it is to spend every year. But appropriate the money out of jail seated
yeah.
Oh,
to
okay,
fix that system,
Yeah.
a one-time
Done it over with.
appropriation.
yeah,
Do
yeah, Nate,
Sorry.
you're right.
So for 2025,
Dave will give us a discount.
do you want me to work? And do you want us, I guess, I'll just volunteer. Do you want us to set up maintenance now for the remainder of 2025 into jail?
Yes.
I would.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So we are, and I know it's unpopular and I apologize, but I had to submit these bills today because we have to have people keep coming back.
Here's the thing, though.
Can't pay
Let's
for it.
get those quotes. Let's get those quotes and do that additional though for the, whatever it's gonna cost to fix the sewer. Plus your additional, you're gonna need to get through the rest of the year. Let's not do a bunch of additionals
No.
in maintenance.
These ones she already turned in.
The ones that I turned in today.
That's-
So I think
Yeah.
we-
As long as
like,
you do that.
and I can say-
The public hearing is not gonna be until September for this.
Well, no, but this is, and
Right.
I can tell you
Already
that
turned in.
we have been
Well, we never
trying
voted on
to
it.
do this since,
Yeah, you had it submitted for July, but
We
I
never,
mean,
we never voted on it, so.
Jen, you want me to just have these people call you guys that can't pay their bills? I guess that's the problem. I'm not trying to be difficult, but how do you get people to come?
We should
when you don't pay them?
have maybe asked for more to start with and we wouldn't be.
What we need to do is create a line in the jail seat for maintenance. And then put an
Yeah.
additional, in, but we didn't know how much that, we didn't know how much that job's gonna cost. Plus the amount, plus what you owe now, plus what it's gonna take to get to the end of the year.
Because
So we're doing
we-
additional in jail
Yeah,
seat.
let
If
me,
you put these additionals now, they will not be advertised for public hearing until September.
These started in April. I mean, this is the problem I'm having,
Well, the
is that we've
first-
gone
first
running
week's on.
around trying
So
to
last
get that
meeting,
there for you guys.
so
I know, so this is why, I mean, I'm all about staying, you can ask her, I literally will transfer $1 to stay in the green in my budget.
Well, there.
I don't like going in the negative, but
There's no way.
when we're looking at months of getting stuff done, how do we get it done?
Well, it has to be published.
How much is it?
Yeah, and it's too late to publish it for August, because it had to be in the paper already. It's already been in the paper.
We've already got 3 additional meetings this month.
The problem is we don't have a super majority here. There's always one other thing we can do too, but we don't have a super majority of the council here right now. But we do have rainy day funds to bail out that maintenance from now.
Reimbursement.
That still has to be advertised too.
That's so, yeah,
Mhm.
I thought you guys could just do what you wanted.
No.
It's gotta
So this.
So Michaeline, if we approve these appropriations today with the exception of private retirement. When would be the soonest that we could be able to have a public hearing?
September, like you said, it'd have to
Or if we
be,
had a special meeting?
if you had a special meeting,
Another one?
it'd have to be about 2.5 weeks before the meeting that it'd have to go to the paper.
So if you sent it to the paper tomorrow, in 2.5 weeks.
Cause it takes, why, don't ask me, but it has to be at the newspaper by noon on Wednesday. To be in the paper the following Thursday, which is 8 days ahead of
It's
time.
crazy.
I will tell you one thing about that though, and there is a glitch to that or a loophole. It doesn't stipulate which paper it has to be in.
That's true.
Oh,
And I do remember we have advertised like in other papers before to satisfy that. I'm just saying,
Well, it can't be the 3 papers, what they're saying.
You could probably advertise in the South Bend Tribune tomorrow.
Yeah, it's Rob Van der Collen.
It's the very next day, they send me a proof to look at. So why can't it be in the newspaper? It doesn't make sense to me, but then it also has to be in the paper. 10 days before it can come to you guys. So that's why it takes about 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, I was thinking do it in the South Bend or the Plymouth or the Old.
Thing is, they are
It's gotta be in-
that we may not have to advertise anything
I
in the
saw
paper
that.
anymore,
Yeah,
that we put it all through Gateway.
because nobody has paper.
Yes, one quick question. If the jail starts putting as much of their maintenance into jail seated, we could start doing that today, correct?
Yeah, but you have to
Now,
advertise.
just hang on.
it's still there.
Yeah, we can still do
So if
that.
we started doing that, I mean, this additional appropriation that kind of bothers me. But if we divert this other, all of a sudden that additional is not really an additional. I mean, it's just actually being changed over to
Well,
jail seated. I mean,
It still have to be an additional, be appropriate out of the money that's there.
I understand.
Jail seated does not have to be advertised in the paper.
That, it does not.
Jail seated does not have, so if you transfer all those additionals to jail seated, that could be at your next meeting.
But once again, I don't think we can do the extra help with the patrolman.
no, when I mentioned that earlier, I was only talking about creating a
Only overtime.
maintenance in jail seated.
So it appears to me
Do that right now.
the only thing we could do out there would be maybe $20,000 for repair and maintenance.
If you can
That
get us,
solves
if we
the
can move maintenance
shortfall or the.
right now to jail seated, everything else can wait till your next meeting. Maintenance is where we're in we're in trouble. I mean, we're in the negative, I can't get.
That's why I was saying, but create it
Yeah.
now. And put like whatever it is, if we think it's gonna be
Yeah.
150 plus what they've gotta. That way it's there, that way, we could still, the commissioners obviously would approve and hopefully take the lowest bid if it looks good. But fund that plus whatever she needs, I don't know if it's another 50, whatever, we'll fund it right now to jail seat it, cause that's the only thing we could put in there is jail stuff without advertising.
So right now, you need $20,000.
Right now,
Just for this.
to pay those
Yeah,
bills,
for
I
that.
need,
So,
to pay those bills, I need 10. Yeah,
well, you got 2 of them, you got 2 10,000 ones.
well, I know, cause I need, that was, I was trying to get through until we could get more money for the end of the year.
Let's do the 20.
If we're gonna just need to do the 20.
If you can put 20 into jail seated. Or
Yeah,
30,
right.
that won't get us through the end of the year,
I'll make-
okay, but if you can put 30 in jail seated for maintenance. That'll
At
give us
least
the
we'll have it
green.
created in there, and we could always fund it next month with whatever it takes to do the maintenance on
I
that.
was gonna say, you want that money in for that thing, you better figure 175. Just, I mean.
Hopefully it'll be next year.
But the good thing is we could put that in there anytime.
Okay, yeah, I thought Dave said we need to tonight.
He's gonna-
Well, we could, I'm just saying, if you really were that desperate, but what's another $100 it's gonna cost us for another month? So.
Yeah, we don't know.
You want to try a motion? Want to try a motion?
Yeah, yeah. All right, everybody, we got a motion.
I'll make a motion that we create the line of maintenance and jail seat it and do an additional appropriation of $20,000 to cover the shortfall of existing bills.
Okay, we have a motion by Dave. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Bruce. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carried. All right,
Thank you.
okay.
Okay, now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What about the rest of it? Are you approving that to be an additional for your September meeting? The patrolman or whatever else you had on there in overtime?
Yeah, we should. While we're here.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter. We do it in August, it'll still be September anyways.
Oh, that's right, you're right.
So with that being said, why don't we wait and do it till August in case there's something else?
You know what, I
Right.
will rehash numbers in the next, it won't be all tomorrow. I'll
Okay.
get this done for this budget and done for tomorrow. Next week, I'll go back through all my numbers like I showed you guys I do,
Sure.
and then I'll get you.
So then if you have to have something else, we're not doing.
As few pieces of paper as possible.
Yeah, okay.
Like
a
All right.
Yeah, because you want to hear it's the 14th, so.
We'll get it.
Like the budget somewhere.
All right.
History. paper.
That's all that.
All right.
Are you here for anything, Frank, or just
That's
listen?
right, everybody.
And you probably are, right?
Pay range for a nurse.
Did you talk to them about it at all?
He did, yeah, I thought that.
What's the?
He's done with us.
Yes,
Yeah.
Nathan, would you try to get that moving on
Yes.
the order, and if you need concrete names, I can give you numbers.
Okay,
Thank you guys. Measurements for the last drawing, see, he remembered, look at his face. For the last drawing that they need, and then it's all being sent off, and hopefully we'll get it approved, the permit's all done and move forward.
so we only got a couple more things. Frank, you want to come up here and tell us?
I'm just looking at trying to get.
Or you can stand up or you can do whatever you want.
Wage increase for hiring a part-time nurse, because currently it's at $25 and I'm just trying to bump it up to at least 30. So a $25 to $30 range, depending on who I can get, because nursing is paying a lot more than that.
Sure is.
Especially part-timers and per diems.
Yeah,
Frank, with 30 do it though, I mean, is that gonna attract people, because you're not getting nobody to apply, should you
I can
do
pay them more than I make.
that? Well, I'm just saying.
I mean, if we wanna go to 35, we go to 35. I'm just pay for it out of between
Yeah.
local health maintenance money that's left, I've got HFI money that's left. You know, you've had some of the changes.
I just know you've been in.
If we get this 25% cut or what have you, and that's what I was already planning as far as throwing my salary into that line item, so.
Well, you kind of must have, you came up with 30 though, thinking maybe you could, maybe try it for a month, try the 30, maybe to start out, and then we can.
And so I gotta come back.
I'm not saying, I mean, you know, I mean,
Well, you know,
You say job, $5 an hour, they're like, oh, and that's the end of the day.
Well, I think some on that.
And unless I find the magical unicorn that, you know, is retired and doesn't want to make more than $25 an hour.
Are you talking about right now or next year?
What line? I'm just talking about currently, because my.
If you do it currently, we have to change the
You gotta
salary.
do a
ordinance.
salary ordinance. If it's gotta wait till next year, I'll get through the year. Whatever's easy.
on there, Bruce.
What else is in?
Yeah.
It's probably easier to wait till next year, but it doesn't really matter what's easy, it matters what's best.
benefiting you, wait.
Yeah.
It's through, I got through COVID.
I'll get
through this thing. I just wanna be able to change that pay range so I can actually pay somebody what they're qualified to make. If we can go up to 35 and if they'll take 30 when I offer it, cool. 35,
25 to 35?
25 to 35.
You can pay for that through that state funding.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I was getting.
Yeah. Is that right?
There would have to be a salary.
Yeah, I know.
So it wouldn't happen till September and.
Well, he's talking about next year.
Oh,
If we can float that.
So we can throw in the whole salary for next year.
It's
able to give me like 4 hours a week sometimes. Because of childcare issues, so when she's able to come in, she gets caught up on what she needs to do, and I've picked up immunizations all over again, and
Okay,
so.
Want a motion for that, Todd?
we need a motion for that? Probably do.
Well,
I wouldn't.
they'll have to submit a,
You'll have to, just submit, then it'll go in the salary ordinance.
So what I gotta put in, I'll get with her. later.
25 to 35,
Okay.
yeah,
Good.
okay.
Are you doing this for
now?
Hmm?
Are you doing it for now then? Or you're gonna do it for next year?
I'll do it for next year, that's easier.
but $35, you said?
If you need that.
Up to,
I mean,
25 to
If
30.
you need it now.
Do it.
Frank, if you need it now, just do it for now.
I don't need it,
Oh, okay.
because I don't really have anybody to choose from, because I don't think I'm saying, even I get no help with them. You know what I mean? If I can find an LV or anything like that, I'm paying 28, 30 bucks an hour.
But if we change the
Right,
salary
so
ordinance now,
people,
at
not,
least
not that we start
now,
picking it.
Correct.
So
So
let-
And I'm living without any.
I think we should do it now.
But if we can figure out how.
The advertising out there, blah, blah, blah.
I
Then
mean,
let's. we
so-
can do it.
We're already throwing ads. at
So,
this.
we're gonna, we wanted to change it now.
Yep, so you want Bill's motion?
Yeah,
I make a motion to go ahead and make the change now, with the range of 25 to 35.
okay, we have a motion
Part-time nurses.
to change part-time nurse for the health department from 25 to 35 dollars an hour as a range, second.
If nobody else would, that's too, I will second that.
That's motion second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
All
you.
I needed.
Thanks, Frank.
We need it. Thank you.
You shouldn't have brought the C word
Because
up.
I think normally it starts with us and then it goes to you.
I've had it a few
Yeah.
times.
Do you need that
It
done?
normally does.
Yeah, I'm
So I'll make.
Yeah.
Still don't understand.
You guys are quiet.
Well, we were discussing.
Yeah,
it.
we're talking.
Yeah,
That's okay, you put it out.
okay, so you wanna repeat that? Doug?
I'll make the motion.
What's the part-time nurse?
Because I've been there, I think 9
And I'll second that.
And who is the chief?
Those in favor?
Aye. There you go, Frank.
Okay, so
That was.
So one more thing, I'll try to make this quick, because it's really, it's very, usually very complex. Community corrections,
That's right, I know.
So-
Yeah, I don't.
that whole almost entire budget is funded through the state for everything. So since the state making the budget cuts, one of the thing they did is they're taking the person away in community corrections who oversees the releasing of the inmates with the ankle brace, all that. They're taking that position away because the state doesn't care. Because all those people if they don't go on ankle braces, they're just gonna go to county jail.
Yeah.
They're not going
Yeah.
to state jail, so they have no money invested in it. So. Now, the offenders, whoever has an ankle brace, they pay $8 a day.
Yeah.
It cannot be anymore, doesn't matter if you make $1 a year or 500,000.
So.
They changed that last year. So,
At least 20.
and it costs $35 a day to have somebody in jail.
Oh, yeah.
So,
You know, one thing to your point, Todd, is
We got
one of the
the-
things that we got talked out of it by community corrections before. But we never talk about a work release program here either. And we take some modifications to the jail, but it pays for itself a lot better than ankle bracelets now, because you're, like you said, $8. You know, and they know they have to be good if they want to be able to work, you know what I mean? But then they make money and they pay for things. It may be something that a couple people start looking into.
So I'm reluctant to even say what I'm gonna say, but I have to say it because otherwise somebody else might say it. I told Sean today when I met with him, I said, Sean, you're not gonna like this, and I don't mean it this way. I said, but you need to show everybody, okay, if we do this program, so is that $70,000 to pay for that other person? Is that more or less than it would be if we just flung them over the veil?
Right.
Okay, I'm not trying to say that's what we should do.
Or work release.
Yeah,
Maybe.
or
I don't know,
anything.
something else.
But the thing about that is,
Work release now, some of these.
if we would do it with that program and then these other people go to jail, which right now there's 55 of them
50.
on raisins right now.
Holy cow.
So if you send them all to jail, not only the added cost for that, what about the medical?
Yep.
and everything else.
Yep.
And
So-
food and
Yeah, a
that-
lot of times, one of the
It's
reasons
about-
they're put on home detention is because the jail can't afford their medical care. I had that happen 2 weeks ago in Pulaski
So-
County.
And they
So,
don't have room for them sometimes too.
so if this is done away with, there's no mechanism to
Right.
have any type of home detention. And he showed me some figures like the 95% of the people that are on home detention, they don't get reconvicted. They don't go back to jail again.
Recidivism's lower.
Yeah, so there's a really good percentage of people that stay out of trouble after being on it.
Well, that's a really, really good point, though. People need so much healthcare now. It's unbelievable. Like, even if it's just mental health, like costs, it's
So-
enormous. So that's a good point.
I think that the
That being said, we need to figure out.
Program, if they're not
we need to
being
figure out some way
reconvicted, they're
to
ideal
do
for.
It's gonna hurt the jail.
Some of
It's
them
gonna-
possibly,
Love to
It's
see
gonna
it.
hurt the
Right. And the
residents of the county.
I mean, Dave was saying work release, I think that would cost us too, because they have to go back to jail
Yeah.
that night.
I
Yeah,
always thought. if
On that,
Pulaski
you hear that,
County-
Dave?
They still go to jail at night, but they have to pay into it. Like, it ends.
Oh, yeah, they.
You gotta get
again.
started, because you have to have the thing about a work release is you have to have a dedicated entrance just for work release.
All right.
But it ends up paying for itself once it gets started, but the initial cost of the change. To the jail and the flow, it's probably gonna cost a few bucks, but. It has a good, impact to recidivism also, but it also gets them back and integrates them into the community, things like that.
Well, plus
I
they're
like
paying
the
local
price of an
tax.
ideal.
That
I think
too,
it's
yeah.
good for a lot of
So-
people.
so when I talked to Sean today, he didn't really have the answers, kind of sort of what I was looking for. They figure it's gonna cost $70,000.
That's what I was just gonna ask you, that what do you think?
That's what he thinks, but I said, now, wait a minute now. What is this 70,000? I said, who's gonna pay? Where's this, all his taxes gonna come out of? Or is he gonna be a straight contract employee? Well, where there's no taxes given to him or no insurance or no anything else.
70,000? That's including the benefits.
Yeah,
So you said they got 50.
that's the only way it could be, Dave, but what I'm worried about is, where's his taxes?
Yeah.
All right,
I mean, is he gonna be a 1099 contract employee?
and
How's
if
that work? I
if
don't know.
did that, the $8 you're talking about, does the county get that back? Also, so we get a little bit.
Yeah,
back.
it comes back. It does come
Okay, if
back.
it costs $35 a day
Yeah,
to incarcerate someone, and there's 55 people right now who would be hypothetically in jail if it weren't for home detention, that's $1,925 a day extra.
Times 360.
yeah, so it's.
Times
It's not
365.
even,
Yeah.
it's not even.
700, over 700.
It's not even a
I
thought.
was taking it times 27.
It's not even a thought. And obviously, there's probably not 55 all the time. There might be 40, and there might be 70.
Right, I mean, you'd have to take it out.
The question would be, why does
It's
that person
not
get
fair.
paid? I mean, why does that person have to be paid so much if they're just monitoring
Yeah.
the, like, they don't have any skills or
Well-
certifications, right?
Well, they're the ones that are doing they're taking care of all the drug testing. They're interviewing, they're,
Action with the.
yeah.
Cause I look back to one thing too, though, is like, cause I get it, cause like somehow we got talked into the thing. If you remember, HealthLink was gonna give us the money for mental health in the jail. But we decided to go, instead of taking that grant money, we decided to pay Gearhart instead to do it. The justification was, nobody's gonna wanna work for what the grant pays. So we bypassed that grant, which I still feel like was a shame that we didn't take
Yeah.
advantage of that. But, I'm just thinking in this case, maybe also the answer would be, nobody wants to work for less to do.
So-
ankle bracelets.
So what's gonna happen is he's gonna have to create a position.
Patrolman's making less than 50. And you're proposing 70?
That's with all, that's with benefits.
Benefits and all, I think.
With benefits, a patrolman's probably making 80 or 90. By the time you figure all the perfit and all the
Pretty
taxes.
much double
And
it.
his health insurance.
Probably
So
more
you're
than
saying
that.
70 would include
Yeah.
everything.
Well, that's the way he said, but
Okay.
Those
Well,
dollars.
you're just
And
suggesting.
if someone's paid $70,000 a year divided by 365 days, that's $191 a day that they would be paid versus $1,925 that taxpayers would be paying for incarceration.
I took 30.
So it's
I
a tenth
30 times
Yeah.
of the
27,
cost to
still
pay that person.
$300,000.
so I need to.
It's like, position plus $100,000 or something.
You just come to commission meeting,
Okay.
and then figure out what
It's terrible.
his job description is, and what it's
Oh,
gonna,
yeah.
as far as the.
Yeah,
as far as
not
what-
violent offenders and.
There's
One of
first-time
the
offenders.
Yeah.
You know, if they're,
Yeah.
if they're too
I
serious.
mean, he obviously has some
And
job
that's-
description, just because the state's giving him the money, so they know,
Surely
they know what he's
something
doing,
else
you know.
for part of the time, couldn't they?
Yeah, it seems like a no-brainer.
I see, so if you hire an employee,
All right.
just do the ankle.
So I'll talk to Sean and tell him he needs to go to the commissioners
The fella.
with all the particulars,
I
and
think
then.
they're
they
talking
go with
about
that.
it, we have to write it.
Yeah.
Just-
Sounds like we don't have a choice. The state does that stuff to us all the time.
All right, with that being said, does anybody, what else is it?
My auditor pay,
Oh,
that was on there. I mean, that was what you guys had to discuss.
Deputy positions. Did we figure something out with that?
Figured. Oh, deputy position, okay.
As far as like what a standard rate of pay.
So, where's the. Does the clerk have it, that there's her stipend on there, someplace in here?
Yeah, her stipend's on there, but she also gets paid out of the election
So,
fund too.
first of all, I think that stipend ought to go away.
She doesn't get the stipend this year because
Okay.
there's not an election this year, but she gets it in election.
So your stipend, the Indiana code doesn't say we shall, it says we may,
Right,
so we don't have.
that's
to
what I
pay
said
that.
in the note that I sent you guys today. I sent you guys all an email today. I said I didn't care.
I'll tell you, the only problem I have with this has nothing to do with you, Michael. The problem is that stipend is supposed to be for night meetings. And
No, not the stipend isn't.
what's the stipend for then?
I don't know why they put that in there, but it's in the law
I thought it was.
that you can pay it, but what I'm.
I think it said,
The fact
I think it
that,
said 9 meetings in there.
No, there's,
Yeah.
look, there's a different line item compensation.
and that's not,
And that's zero,
And there's
and that's gone.
stipend.
That's
Not
great.
for night.
Right, but I'm just saying, they're two, they are two different things.
Yeah, but I think that the law said something about that. All right, go ahead, Michael Wayne.
the thing is that when I hired here, my paycheck was a certain amount. I didn't know there was a difference between night pay and day pay and all this. Then my first paycheck in January was $240 some less than what I thought it was going to be, the very first paycheck, because you guys took that away.
Well, we never should have paid it in the first place, as far as I'm concerned.
But still, that was a big cut for me.
I mean, I don't think there should be any stipends for anybody. That's like, there should be paid to any county employee for a nighttime meeting.
Well, I'm not asking for it as a stipend. I asked it to be put in my salary to replace what I lost.
Well, we can't raise your pay 10% and not everybody else's.
The best thing is though you cut it from the year
Well,
before.
that was the year before.
But I'm saying in 24, I made a certain amount, and now in 25, I'm making $253 a pay less.
But it's funny that it never got brought up for 8-9 months, the whole year until.
Yes,
it's all-
when I
In June?
complained about it, you guys told me to put it in my budget for this year.
So that was 6 months ago. So that was 6 months after the first of the year started, and then all of a sudden now it's an issue?
It's been an issue all year,
I'm
but
trying-
you guys said you couldn't raise it and to put it in my salary for this year.
We can't raise it this year, there's no way.
I know,
I'm
and
trying
you
to-
guys
I'm
said
trying to
that, but
find
you
out.
told me to put it in for my budget
See
this
what
year,
it
which
says.
I did.
Seriously.
The flaws in there, the code.
So you're talking about the jump to 2026 budget.
Yeah,
So as an elected official, I mean, why can't you just take that amount of time off that you do?
But the law says that I don't even have to be here but one day a month,
well, then I go, well, we paid $2,500 if you know, this month.
$2,500. I didn't ask for the stipend. I mean, it's in there, but I I've taken it out.
I thought you just said you wanted the stipend.
No, I said I wanted the salary amount I put in for.
Salary amount's gonna be 3%. And I almost think, what I think we should do, I think we should look at every department head or every elected official. And take all their pays, add them all together, divide it, here's what it is.
But if you
Some
look
gets
at,
cut, some makes more money.
you look at the fact book and the auditor makes more
We got it
than
right there.
any other elected official in every county except for the sheriff. But except for
Get a
here,
raise on the people.
now the clerk's making more right now because of,
Almost I see you
she gets
smile.
paid out of the election budget as well as
Yeah.
can be
her clerk's budget.
And then
So what's the other thing here?
too. All in the same meeting.
And nothing against her.
So in our county size, the auditor's pay right now is in the top, over the top half of all those counties. And the clerk's pay is
But the
actually,
clerk's pay does not show what she gets from the election board.
right,
And with her stipend
Yeah.
on the non-election year.
because her actual pay is,
Statutory.
pardon me? Her stipend's not statutory.
That's for the
I
election.
think the state, says that the stipend and the. I think
Yeah,
it's all
but I
statutory.
don't know if it's like hers, if it doesn't.
She doesn't.
No,
get
I
the
said-
stipend
he goes right, I think the
election
clerk's-
year, but
I
she
think
gets
he's
it
right
from
about the
election
clerk,
year,
though,
But the
that's
election
statutory.
board pay that she gets that
Course.
every year.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are gonna do what you're gonna do, but. Just,
Well, we're gonna do whatever the board wants to do. I mean,
I guess,
I'm not-
so what we're saying though, Todd, is she took a reduction in pay over last year's pay.
okay,
No, I'm asking, is that what it is?
yeah, because we took that $2,500 away.
no, that I never got the stipend, I got night pay,
No,
But,
but I didn't know.
but $250 a paycheck is like $6,000.
yeah, we took that $2,500 away when
Or no,
Rachel
it's
was
not.
there.
I'm sorry, it's 3,000, sorry.
We took it away for the next year.
6,000.
You're not understanding, the 2,500 wasn't in there last year, it was a night.
No, I know, but it was in there the year before.
$6,402.
Oh,
6,400.
oh, I don't know what was 23,
Yeah,
yeah.
because it was actually taken from Rachel, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was taken from Rachel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was actually taken from Rachel. Yeah,
Well, this 6,000 and some was taken. from
But I think Bruce's math is right, though. It's actually like $6,400 difference. If she's saying $250 a paycheck,
Well, that's what, if you would have given me the
Well,
3% raise, plus what I was already making, it would have been 253 a paycheck.
see what it says.
I sent you guys the whole.
no, I was just going by Bruce's calculation.
I would just go by this line in the budget, $6,402 for comp for night meetings.
Oh, okay, but well, this turns out that ends up being about the same amount of money. I got you.
That's my.
26 times 250.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the auditor's budget.
$78.
And also my budget has a cut of $12,564 over this year.
Like what we did to the surveyor.
Right. Could end up being a lot less money.
So actually, her salary is lower than the average, these 12 numbers that are in similarly sized counties.
Yeah.
Hers at 56.4 is about $1,100
Well,
less than the
If
average.
we're gonna do that, we'd have to do it to every elected official. We can't just do it to one,
Well, although
right?
that auditors, is that stipend, okay, so you were talking about the statute says we may give the stipend versus shall.
Yeah.
Do the other elected officials have a statutory option of the stipend?
No.
No.
Just the clerk and the auditor.
See, because it's shown on this one, the stipend's in here,
Said in my email today, I'm not asking for that.
and it's showing your pay from last year going up over $8,000 without the
That's to
stipend.
make up for what you cut me this year plus
Well.
the 3%.
Well, in 24, so it's up over $10,000 from 24.
Yes, but the other thing was in a different line item. So it isn't really up that much. If
What's
you
the
look at the other
count
line.
do, but I don't think we should be raising one elected officials that much unless we go through and do all of them.
But see, that's the thing. You're not raising it, you're giving it back to me what
No.
you took away.
No, even if it's taken away, it's lower. If we give you more, that's raising it. It's still raising it compared to what this year's budget is. It's still raising it. Ultimately,
What did we take away?
Pardon?
We took something away from Rachel, so, or what caused her pay in January to go down?
They took away
we took away. I think we took away the stipend,
6,000, oh no, yeah, $6,402.
took away the stipend in the night meetings because there's no reason that any elected official get paid for night meetings. Matter of fact, no employees should be paid. Did you pick up their money?
Does the clerk have a line item for meetings?
Because those are probably election board meetings, and those are probably
It
paid to
says
the people that are,
meetings.
the people that.
No, she gets election board pay and her meetings are all during the day. She gets paid for them.
And there's a $1,500 line item that just says meetings. It doesn't say what.
Can I say something about that line item? Those meetings are for AIC meetings, um, oh, training meetings that the state doesn't pay for. That's what that meeting line's for.
Clerks meetings.
Yeah, that's what that
Yes,
line. is for.
yes.
We're not talking about that. We're talking about a salary.
It's not a salary.
So. That's something we ought to look in because there's another employee who works here who gets paid during the day. And they're on a board and they get paid the per diem for that, why they're getting paid the county general pay.
Who are you talking about?
I'm not gonna say who it is, but State Board of Council is gonna find out who it is because. Nobody seems to want to do anything about it. And that's double dipping, you can't do that. You can't do it.
But how do you know they're not taking comp time for it?
Cause I know. I know. I know.
Won't recognize.
I believe you, I know, cause I had a conversation and it was brought up that, no, I take both,
Yeah, that's it.
so it's pretty obvious.
Cassandra said that she's below the average.
She's below the state average the 2025 budget. The state average is 57.5 for last year and she's at 56.4.
Well, that's
Every,
county is.
Well,
The
the
county,
state average for counties with population
Yeah.
of 20 to 25,000, so
Is how
there's
much?
12 of them listed in this
Okay.
book. The average is $57,512.16 for auditors in those 12 counties. That includes ours.
if you're gonna do that, then you need to look at the treasurer, the clerk. The surveyor,
recorder,
He was asking.
and everybody else. Pardon me?
It does need to.
Some of
that.
those. I mean, if we're gonna base one person's off of that average, we need, once it.
I don't think you want me to look at the surveyor because one of the surveyors in the 12 counties makes 16,000 and one of them makes 6.
Well.
We don't have an average on the surveyors.
I mean, that's I do, I try to, we figure the average for the commissioners and the council and see how underpaid we all are, and then raise ours too.
Yes, but you, in that defense, you guys are entitled to insurance, which other counties are not.
Cass County.
That's a big.
Cass County.
Most counties don't.
Not 24.
I'm not saying times are tough, but Sandy and I can only afford one pair of false teeth between the two of us.
Bruce, you're so full of it.
I haven't heard that for 2 weeks. So, what do we wanna do? What do you guys wanna do? It's not up to me to make the motion. Or
Well,
not.
wait a sec. Okay, so I'm just looking at another comment in her total budget. What's the thing on page 2, down towards the bottom, 2026 notes where it says total cut of $12,564 over 2025?
That seems in a way of position.
But it's listed next to dues and subscriptions.
Oh, that's because that was the line. I went ahead and moved it down. I just didn't get it out of there. But the total cut of my budget over 2025.
So
Plus
the 2026 budget is $12,000 lower
Yes,
for 2020.
Even though we got rid of one complete employee who would have been 40 or 50, would have been $40,000.
but it also reduces the amount of social security that's paid, the amount of insurance that's paid, the amount of perf that's paid for that said employee.
How many other departments managed to submit a lower budget for 2026 than 2027 or 2025?
Gwen,
Health department.
Okay, so there's one.
The planning and BZA.
Line DZA,
IT.
Okay,
IT.
1%.
So,
Well, yeah, but it's still an increase, but it was small.
Right, yeah. Because now. Her raise would be 13%. Is what that raise would be based off of what she submitted.
But I just can't do that and not give it to everybody. I'm sorry. 13%. I mean, there's other people here as well.
When we took it away, was that because we did that in the budget workshops when we took it from Rachel? And it was at the time, it was because at that time it was, that amount was a stipend, is that what you're saying? Cause I just don't
Part of it
remember.
was a stipend, the other part, maybe it might have been night meetings. And and there's no reason that anybody should get paid for night, we don't get paid for night meetings. Commissioners don't get paid for night meetings. Gwen doesn't get paid for night meetings. Kelly doesn't get paid for night meetings.
I think that, doesn't the chief deputy get paid for night meetings on,
They shouldn't get paid for night meetings, because do they come to every meeting? I mean, you give them $2,500 per night meetings, you come to one meeting, so you get $2,500 for coming to one meeting.
so,
I mean-
so nobody gets paid for
They, well,
meetings
they
anymore,
should,
basically.
they can take off during the day.
Okay. So I'm just trying to think too, though, so then, just trying to think of what we took away then. So, but it wasn't all meetings, and so part of it was just a stipend.
I think there must have been a $2,500 stipend in there, and the rest of it might have been night meetings.
In 2024, there was $6,402 budgeted for night meetings.
Yeah, right
And
there.
it went down to 0.
That's right there, that's what we took.
Yeah.
So that's the 6,400.
And once again, I mean, how can you pay somebody for a night meeting? Not that it's her problem or fault, but she doesn't come to every night meeting. The last meeting we had. Teresa's
I was
been-
at auditors
Yeah,
conference
well,
though.
there's been other ones where we've had,
Right.
probably out of all the meetings, probably a quarter of them, it's been somebody from her office that are here. So,
But I didn't put in for it as night meetings.
I know.
Put in for it in my salary,
I know.
which is what you told me to
and it
do.
doesn't matter, money's money, whether it's a night meeting or it's in a salary, it's still money. I mean, I look at the percentage, I don't really care what it says on these lines. But it's up to the board, what they wanna do.
Well, I know some of you say you knew what you were getting when you took the job, but what I knew I was getting was more than what I'm getting.
Well, we never cut your pay the year your pay from one year to the next year. That was already set. We didn't cut your pay in the year that you were working in office. That was always cut.
Yes, but
Well,
that's
pay
what I
and
thought I
comp-
was making.
You're kind of splitting hairs, though. It's all compensation. When we cut some of the compensation. We might not cut the salary, but we cut
Right,
some of
but the way the
compensation.
compensation is listed, it's still part of the salary,
Five.
ultimately.
Five?
In, wasn't
What,
Bruce was asking what the raise was for here, wasn't it five?
Raise.
we gave a 10% raise.
Yeah.
Maybe it was last year, I was thinking it was the year before, you're right.
We gave a 10% raise.
Not last year, year
No,
before.
It was the year before, last year was five, right?
Okay.
No, it's three.
Three.
I
have three. I don't know.
Yep, I think it was three.
Like 23.
Yeah,
That might have been-
yeah,
Something like that.
yeah.
For 10 and 5, that's.
No, it was 3%.
It was
for
3%.
25.
Bruce.
I think.
Yeah, it was.
Pretty certain.
It was three. It was three.
So.
Well, what do we think? Yeah, motion to change it, motion to table, think about it some more, I don't know.
Is the sheriff's salary statutorily
Yes.
set?
Yes.
Cause I'm just looking also at which of our elected officials are paid the most. And you don't count the sheriff, the auditor does receive.
We just can't.
Well, there's some other money for the election board stuff.
Right, for the clerk.
Recommendation to, which is
Where you're.
The highest paid
kind of like
Right
you.
now.
elected official.
Not
Not
all of
prosecutor
it.
judge, which I count.
I couldn't. How about yours? Cause mine is, I'm gonna stay if we go for the whole amount, right? It was. I would be settled part of it.
Sounds like you wouldn't have a complete vote anyway, so tabling's a possibility or a discussion of part of it, a
Whatever,
compromise.
whatever you get,
I
whatever.
need to table it. I don't feel comfortable voting it down. But I wanna think about it some
And
more.
I don't feel comfortable voting for all
I don't feel comfortable not all the members being here.
I'd rather have a full board for sure.
Well,
I
people
would
gotta
move to
quit
table.
dying.
Okay, so we have a motion.
I
Cassie,
agree,
table
I
this.
agree.
We have a second?
I'll second,
We
yeah.
have a motion, second, any discussion? Okay, all in favor? So it's tabled, it's not dead, Mike Wayne.
Okay,
No,
but next August 14th, I hope there's gonna be,
I won't be here on
I
those.
hope,
be here either.
but. We need 5 people here, or 4 people here at least for
I
August
think I
14th.
emailed you back on.
Yes, you did, and Kay did.
I should be able to be here from thirty.
I'll be on, put it this way, I'll be here if I have to be here, but I have plans that are pretty important, but.
We're gonna have a
quorum.
Yeah.
Is that the wedding day?
No.
Oh, man.
So if everybody's got everybody needs to know, we've got a discount on a boatload of rice. And we wanna have it for the blessed day. So that's.
So, does council have anything else? All right, so. We're done.
Well, you guys, I think, have to motion to close yours and then we have to close this.
Do we have a motion to
I
close
make
our
a
meeting?
motion to close our meeting.
Motion by Bill, I have second.
Second.
By Cassie, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we're
Don't
done.
move.
Okay, real quick, anything from public?
I was gonna let you guys, that's what you're charging.
Amy, what do you got for us?
I had to be here.
Okay, and I'll.
You know, we should have done,
All those in favor?
we should have asked for the siege stalls for every employee
There,
in the county.
I don't think I have them in my.
Sure, what?
Yeah.
Everybody's gotta head out and support her new.
Yeah, that's.
I won't be here, or else I would.
Hey, you know what?
I'll be-
I would if I didn't have my
I'll be in
classes.
Michigan.
Yeah, I need to. Not, or Sandy. Sandy's in her house.
Okay, I'll call this. I'm gonna get a sweet corn for the freezer. Hopefully next week sometime or something.
Need to be.
You want my number?
But I guess it's tired of saying, well,
We have to keep all two of us.
jeopardizing.
I do too.
That's just.
One thing I wanna, one thing I'm gonna look at and study why we're. I wanna check out.
It's just that
Or-
it was such a.
Pretty sure there's a statute where I should.
Yeah, that
With stuff like that, but I wanna make sure.
I'm pretty sure you're right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure hers is
But I don't
statutory.
feel Michael, get stuck to it. I mean, I'm told, but. The night
Never
I
happened before, really got stuck in there.
believe that.
Okay.
Well, if you're gonna come and work 2 hours in the evening, take 2 hours off of the pay period. I don't believe in acquiring comp time, because that got us in trouble years ago.
Oh, yeah, that.
No, if you have comp time, it has to be used within the same pay period.
And I think
That's
that's
state
what
law.
we need to do. I would, yeah, I agree that